how can a man become a god? This question was posed by Alexander the Great to some of the wisest philosophers in India. Their answer? By doing something a man cannot do. Alexander certainly tried. By the young age of 20, he became the king of Macedon. By 25, he conquered the formidable Persian Empire, and by his death, at age 33, he ruled what was, and still is to this day, one of the largest empires ever known. But these deeds alone weren't enough to make him divine. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, tonight you'll learn how iconography, spread using coins, helped Alexander and those who succeeded him become gods. Now, Alexander didn't always think of himself as a god. In fact, he began his journey modeling himself after heroes and legends from Greek mythology, such as Achilles. And so on the coins that were minted during his reign, he portrayed himself as a mythic hero with a look of great ambition and aspiration. On this coin, we see an image of Alexander's profile. As you can see in his eyes, he's got this look of heroic longing. On this coin, Alexander is wearing a headdress made from the scalp or skin of a lion. Can anyone name another very famous hero from Greek myth, extremely famous hero who sometimes wore a lion skin?
Hercules.
Hercules, of course. It's Heracles, or Hercules, as John said. You see here on the right. Heracles slayed the Nemean lion as one of his 12 labors and wore the lion skin on his head thereafter. Alexander, Heracles. Heracles, Alexander. Here we see Alexander using the icon of the lion skin to equate himself with a mythical hero to the subjects of his empire. During the middle portion of his campaign, as Alexander pushed eastward, as he pushed into Egypt, Persia, India, Alexander's perception of himself began to change, began to shift. Contrary to the Greek practice of separating the men they followed from the gods they worshipped, Alexander began to believe that he was one and the same. And so the images of himself on his coins change accordingly. Here's another image of Alexander's profile, but it's a bit different from when we last saw him, isn't it? His eyes are unnaturally wide and gaze upward, which is a sign of divinity. But there's something else about this coin, about this image. Has anyone spotted it?
Medusa-like hair.
That is one thing, but that's not what I'm talking about.
There's a ray of light behind his head, maybe?
Nope.
It's a little off-centered and oval shaped.
No, Sean. The horn of a ram
Oh, yeah.
curls through Alexander's hair. This horn was significant. It was significant because it's identical to the horn of the god Ammon, head of the Egyptian pantheon and the equivalent of the Greek god Zeus. Alexander, Ammon. Ammon, Alexander. Again, we see Alexander using an icon, in this case a divine icon, to spread his new royal ideology to the farthest reaches of his empire. Age of 33, Alexander dies. His empire was split quickly amongst his most trusted generals. Each of these generals ruled their territory as individual kings. Each of these kings, now thanks to Alexander, was now a god. Each of these kings, as the gods, took the idea of divine iconography to the next level. Here we have a coin, minted by Ptolemy III, who is the heir to one of the successors of Egypt. Can anyone name the divine symbols that appear on this coin? Just shout them out. What did you say, Priya?
The scepter?
Which scepter? This?
The trident?
Yeah, the trident.
Of course, that's the trident of Poseidon, god of the sea.
Brown.
What else? Yes, that's the radiant, blazing crown of Helios, god of the sun. There's one more.
The serpent.
Too hard to see. Yes, the serpent, which is a part of the breastplate, which is the breastplate of Zeus, king of the gods. Here we have Ptolemy, who actually appropriates the symbol of 3 Greek gods on his coin. And it's funny, because his image is eerily similar to this image of the god Helios himself on a coin that was minted during the same time period. Just like Alexander, his successors used divine iconography to justify their rule as gods among men. So, how does a man become a god? As you've seen, using the power of iconography, spread using coins, men can become gods in the hearts and minds of their people. So the next time you see an image of a ruler, a modern day ruler, be it Obama, or Che Guevara, or even the Queen of England on the coin in your pocket, take a minute to think about how they've used words, symbols, icons, or even imagery, like a look in their eyes. Think about how they've used those things to build a perception in your mind.